Howdly doodly do, citizens of the nerdy world! Do not press that pause button because welcome back to the fashionably late review of Teacup. We are always fashionably late, but we still have some words about video games. I am your host for this episode, David Mark Moody, the glorious one, and joining me as always is my fabulous co-host, the glorious Amy Kate Alexander. How are you doing?
Why didn't you tell me to go and get a cup of tea? Like, that would have been perfect for this video. Instead, I've got a shitty glass of Coke. Damn it. I messed up. I
I'm
mean,
sorry.
hello.
Hello. Hello indeed. How are you, Amy? I hope you are well.
Good, thanks.
Very good.
I don't know how to answer that question 3 times in one day.
With your crappy Coke.
I mean,
So
it's good Coke, but...
let's start everyone to the game Teacup. The general information is it's available on PC and Xbox One. Came out September 23rd of September 2021. It's developed by Smarto Club, publishers Whitethorn Digital, and the genre is an adventure game. For complete transparency, we were sent a code for this game, so thank you very much. So, but we also understand you may want to take our review or Amy's review as with a pinch of salt, as we were sent a code for it. The description is Teacup is a short and wholesome narrative adventure game with a focus on exploration and non-linear progress. And that's all I'll go into the general information. Amy, your general thoughts on Teacup?
It's such a lovely game. It's a really good palate cleanser. You play a 50-plus hour JRPG about, like, oppression and slavery and like, you know... what do I follow that up with? A frog needs to go on an adventure to get some tea for a tea party. Bang, sign me up. Both of those journeys are important.
Fantastic. Story characters. How was it?
Yeah, it's there's a
I
lot.
guess there's no voice acting.
No, there's no voice acting. It's story, like, in terms of like how it works. Teacup is a shy frog, and one morning Teacup wakes up and opens the cupboard and is like, shit, there's no tea. I've got a tea party in 2 days. I have to go on an adventure to get some tea. And it's set up in kind of like, I guess, like a storybook, like, sort of way, like the story unfolds, where it's like you're a frog. All of the characters in the game are like anthropomorphized animals, and you just wander around in the forest, and you go to the market, and you go to the plaza, and you just meet tons of characters, and some of them can help you, but first you might have to help them. And that's it. Like, it's very cozy. It's very nice. It's like you play the game and it's like being wrapped up in a warm hug.
Well, the general information did say a wholesome game, so you can't ask for much more. Gameplay design. How was
Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, as you can imagine, it's pretty simple. It's very much in a sort of a vein of a point and click adventure game. Like, you move around with and this is on PC. Obviously, I didn't even know it was on Xbox. But you move around with the arrow keys and you interact with stuff with the spacebar, and like you can press Z on the keyboard and it brings up the book. Because Teacup has a book full of all the information about like all the different teas that you're going to be collecting. So it's like herbs, tea leaves, stuff to go, like cookies, for example, to go with the tea, because you can't have a tea party with tea without cookies. And that's it. Like, some of the characters you will meet, and they'll just be like, I have hibiscus, here, have it. But most of the time you have to do something to get tea from someone, and it's usually just like a very simple puzzle. Or like a rhythm game section, for example. One of the gameplay clips I included was like you have to race Salamandro in a swimming race. He's like, I'll give you my tea if we race. I'm a great swimmer, and I'm like, mate, I'm a frog. How do you think this is gonna end? But yeah, it's like there'll be the guy who's like runs the carpet shop, and all of the carpets are starting to they're starting to be like animated and stuff. So it's like, I need you to find the magician's tent, because the magicians will probably be able to help. Then you go there and you'll do you have to find them some stuff, but their place is an absolute tip. So it's like a hidden object game. Or like you'll be organizing someone's stall for them, and it's like a kind of a Tetris style mini game. And you just solve the puzzles like that to do the next thing. And yeah, you can do stuff in mostly any order you want. Like you have a map, you have a couple of locations open to you, and then like you'll get a couple more, and then you'll get a couple more, and it just fills in this like nice short map. You can't do it in quite any order you want, but yeah, there's like usually you have like 2 or 3 things you can do in any order.
Very good. World level design. How's that?
Look
to
at
you?
it. I mean, I know you can't, Moody,
I can't.
but like I'm just saying, like, look, it's fucking. It's like again, it's like it's presented like a storybook, so it's like very colorful. I showed you guys, sent you a couple of pictures. Like the characters are very expressive, despite the fact that it's not. It's like the graphical fidelity, like it's not The Last of Us or whatever.
It's not 4K 60 frames per second.
Well, it might have been 60 frames a second. It's hard to tell because the only thing moving was the character. But it's very like it feels like very like colored in with like crayon, say for example. It's a very very stylistic art style that is really cool, and it works for this game because this game is just trying to be lovely. So the game looks lovely, and I liked like Teacup. Like it's never outright. It's not like there's a big storyline about Teacup being like shy, right? Or like maybe has something going on with like social anxiety or stuff. But it's always implied in certain lines of dialogue, and also the way Teacup is when you're talking to someone you don't know. It's on the screen right now. Teacup's like standing there like, hello. So it's like there's some nice sort of expressions in the way like the game is animated and the way it's drawn.
Very good. Sound and music design.
The music's really cool. Like I didn't really notice. Like it's like a point and click game always has music going on in the background, right?
Yeah.
And like so there was always music playing, which I don't think I was consciously aware of until it's a 90-minute game. So like say an hour in, I was like consciously sort of going, wait, hang on, this music's really good. Like it's nice. It's nice music, but it's actually good music as well. Which, I mean, I don't want to say I was surprised because, that's kind of like backhanded compliment. Like, it just, all of a sudden, like, I was doing this stuff and I was wandering through the forest and, like, I was like, one character told me to go somewhere, so I was like walking there, let's say. And then, like, all of a sudden, I don't know, my brain just went, you should focus on this music for a second. So I went, oh, okay. Oh, that's really good, yeah. And then, like, yeah. And like, there was a few different themes for, like, different areas of the world, and like I got a bit emotional towards the end. There's a bit at the end where I was like, ooh, that's really nice. And it's like it's on my to-do list to be like, I need to listen to this music without the game. Like I need to listen because I think the music is pretty good. There's not really much in the way of sound, like otherwise. Like there's no voice acting. There's no like you're not really doing much. Like, and I don't mean that as a negative. I'm not trying to knock the game in any way. It's like you're just not really doing very much in the game. That's the point. Part of the point, I guess.
What didn't work for you?
It's nothing really. Like it's not like for starters, there's not really much time for things to like go wrong, right? Like
yeah.
But no, it was fine. Like, there's a couple of like little issues with like map exits, like being a bit weird. Like, because like when you to get between like different screens, like you have to walk to the edge of the screen, right? But you can only like exit the map if you walk to a specific point of the screen. And on a couple of the screens, it was a bit meh. Like it was a bit like, oh, I've got to jiggle around a bit to find the prompt to get out of this room or get away from this lighthouse or whatever. But like apart from that, like it's a nice game to just sit down with and for an hour and a half and just go on the most important of quests, getting tea ready for a tea party for your friends.
Okay, so how you're describing it there, that sounds like it's more linear than non-linear.
No, it's no. What happens is, like I said, it's not fully like you can't do anything in any order you want. But like I said before, what happens is usually there'll be like new locations. So like when you start, there's like two locations you can go. There's a pond and a market. And if you go to the market, say you'll get like if you talk to all the characters at the market, you'll get like maybe like two objectives, leads, whatever you want to call them, where it's like you'll hear about like one person's here and one person's here, so like you can go and do either of those things. And then like once you do one thing for a character, they'll look at your map and go, "Wow, your map's faded because it's really old. Let me just fill it in a bit," and then you'll get some new locations. And then you go there and it's like, all right, cool. Like you'll see like three or four. You'll get three or four more hints as to where to go,
Yeah.
like or who to talk to, or stuff like that. And then you
So
do.
so if you say you have two at the beginning, if you do one, do you lose the other one?
No, you have to collect.
Oh.
You collecting all the stuff in this book, so it's like a T codex, where it's like it's like here's all this different like stuff like mint and hibiscus and lemon verbena, and it's like some of it even in the book is like hints as to like where to get it from, where it's like, oh, this grows near the pond, for example, or this grows in the eastern forest, and it's like, aha, okay, look in the eastern forest for some of this, right? But you collect it all, and then you have a tea party at the end. A tea party is actually part of the game, which I thought was nice.
It's kind of good. That's kind of good. Huh? Well, anything else you want to shout out before we move on to your final thoughts?
Yeah, like it's a really lovely game. Like it won't take you very long to finish. That's not a bad thing. Like for me personally, I don't knock games that are short. Like I like games that are short. Like I sat down last night and I thought I'm in the mood for something nice, and I did it in one sitting, and I was like, that was cool. I'm glad I did that. Like it's the length of a film. But like if you like this kind of stuff, if you like this kind of game, and I hope you do, like, because otherwise you're in the wrong place. Just think about picking it up.
Yeah, I like for me personally, this sounds like a delightful little
Delightful.
thing for myself.
That's another good word to use for this game. It is delightful.
Just like for myself, like I struggled, like unless it really connects with the last. Going off the top of my head, the last true long game that I played and didn't really complete was probably Bravely Default 2 and the Monster Hunter games, Monster Hunter Rise. But then I would have to say I would have to go further back to the last true long game that I completed, and this is like only a game that's what 20 hours long, which is that's Last of Us Part 2.
I suppose you class that as a long game. Yeah.
Compared to for me, like if anything, it's under 10 hours these days. I'm like, that is brilliant. That's just like hell yeah. If I can get it done in one day, I'm all good for that. Because it's not that I don't absorb the game or anything. It's just like I have not got the time. I need small little games are the perfect little niche thing for me, and I love it. Well, that's it for the review of Teacup, everybody. Let us know what you think of it. Did you agree with Amy, or are you in the middle, or is it just a game that did not work for you? Leave a comment down below, as it's time for us to get out of here and go back to the nerdy world for us to eventually review more games to be late. Because we are the Fashionably Late Review, and it's time for us to go and get some tea, Amy. Say bye.
Bye.